going to be spewed upon the classroom. But what we're going to do, still no talking mode, ladies and gentlemen. Right there. As we've just studied from the Bible in 1 John chapter 4, greater is he who is in you than he who is in where? The world. And if Jesus is in you, as a Christian, Jesus is in your life, he's in your heart, you are completely protected and safe. Satan cannot mess you up, hurt you, or destroy your life. He can't. You're safe in Jesus, through him, through his power. The same power that created the universe is in you as a Christian, and therefore, Satan can't touch you. He can't get through the defense shield that Jesus put around your life. That's awesome. Man, that's cool. I'm so glad I don't have to be afraid at night or afraid of life or death, because Jesus has me, and I'm his, and Satan can't change that. Well, you know, one thing I like, I was getting ready to tell you guys this earlier, one thing that's kind of interests me is just about anything involving nature. I've always liked animals and watching animals, but one thing about animals is, unless you go to the zoo, you just don't see a lot of animals, do you? I mean, it's hard to find badgers and cougars and other cool animals out in the wild. It's tough. So one thing, I still like animals, but now I really like birds, because birds out in nature, you can see them. They're all over the place. And so me and some of my buddies, we'll get together and we'll just go take pictures and watch birds. It sounds kind of dorky, huh?
No.
Good. I'm glad you guys don't think so. At least you're not admitting it. Anyways, one of the favorite times is when I was actually driving down the street. And do you guys know what a peregrine falcon is?
Oh.
You know what a peregrine? It's the fastest living animal on the planet.
And birds.
Or out of birds or animals, it's the fastest thing. It can attain speeds over 200 miles an hour. And it does this for one purpose, that is to kill other birds. Pretty mean bird, isn't it? Well, it just does it to eat. You know how the nature is, the jungle law and all that stuff you learn in the Jungle Book. Well, I actually saw a peregrine falcon rocketing out of the sky down toward an unsuspecting bird. And sure enough, right over the intersection I was driving through, this peregrine just rocketed through. This bird came, and it noticed at just the last second that its life was hanging in the balance, and so it tried to kind of take a left turn and get out of the way of this rocketing peregrine falcon. But it was too late. The peregrine just shot right after it, grabbed it, and a puff of feathers, and a couple seconds later, that little bird was in the clutches, in the talons of this falcon, en route to being that evening's dinner for Mr. Falcon. Pretty crazy. I was amazed. My mouth dropped, my eyes bugged open. I was just blown away. I saw one of the coolest things ever, I thought. I don't know what it is. Maybe you guys can relate to me, but whenever in nature you see something eat something else that's alive, to me it makes me happy. And I think it's because I'm kind of weird and mental. Because some of you guys think that's the meanest thing ever. But me, when I see in nature something that's living, eat something else that's alive, that to me makes me happy. That shows you that I'm weird and I got issues. Maybe I need medication or something, I don't know. But I'm going to illustrate that for you guys tonight, just to show you a little something. So before I do that, what I want is for all the girls to move back about 5 feet, in this direction, that is. I'm going to stand over here. And if all you girls can kind of just move this way. Good. I'll just set up some cones for you guys. And you guys can move forward a little bit if you want, but you have to stay kind of behind these cones here. All right? Because you girls can just grab some. Thank you. Okay, so no talking begin. Great. Well, so what I got here is one of my favorite things. I've always liked fish. And when I was a kid about your age, way back in the dark ages, we had a bunch of fish tanks, actually 3. And one of them was a really big tank. And it had big fish in it. And one of the bigger fish inside the tank was called an Oscar. An Oscar is a South American cichlid, and they eat almost anything from worms to bugs to other fish, and they also eat fish food and stuff like that if you feed them fish food. So I'm going to show you guys this fish, but when I show you this fish, you have to make sure that you're not moving around or making a lot of noise, because then they'll be scared, and then my little activity won't possibly work. So everybody just sit tight and chill and relax as I reveal to you a South American cichlid right here. This guy's a pretty cool fish. He normally lives down in places like Brazil or I don't know what else is down there. Peru, Bolivia, Ecuador perhaps. Taiwan is a little bit further to the east, but South America, in the jungles, that kind of place down there. And so this guy, he's a big one, and he likes to eat lots of stuff. And the funny thing is, I'm going to show you guys kind of an illustration of what we've been talking about. So if you just give me a moment, I'm going to get a little bit set up here and see if our Mr. Fish will cooperate with us. Let's see, I've got a couple different kinds of food. One of the main things they like to feed these guys, people who keep them, is wheat. I'm going to have to leave that over here. So that kind of leaked out there. I was going to feed them some bloodworms, but that kind of leaked a little bit, so I'm going to go over to plan B, which is these unsuspecting little fishes. Now, I know some of you girls think that this is the cutest thing you've ever seen, is a little goldfish. Maybe you won your first one at the fair and called it a name, gave it a name and, made it your pet and had a nice relationship. I'm about to change your world a bit tonight. Now, here's the thing. Sit tight. Shh. Now, if you don't want to see a goldfish get eaten by the Oscar, then you might need to avert your eyes or move to the back of the room or something, because I know this may not please you.
You're kidding.
Seeing this goldfish get put in there with that big old Oscar.
You're kidding.
So, if that scares you, who's talking? No talking. So if this bothers you, the whole Oscar eating the goldfish thing, you might want to move back there, or just kind of, direct your attention elsewhere. But if you have the same, sick joy out of watching such things as I do, then you're in the right place. So let me first grab this. And I'm not even sure if this is going to work, because I recently got this Oscar. And I may not even have him for that long. I just wanted to do this so I could show you guys this cool little illustration and then kind of be done with him. So let me go ahead and get this situated here. Let's go ahead and get these guys set up here in their little... There we are.
Gotta be quiet.
Oh. I haven't given these guys names for obvious reasons. Okay. I haven't really made much of a connection or anything like that, because, well, you know the drill. Anyways, I got a special little holding tank for these guys, and I want to show you something. This is kind of the whole deal here. Let's see if I can. This is not going to fit through here, so I'm going to need to pull this up just a little bit. Like so. Now, what we're going to do is put one of those guys in there. Now, as you can see, that little fish is dangerously close to his imminent doom. However, if he stays inside of that little container, he's pretty much safe. Unless Mr. Oscar decides to get a little brutal. But I do have a little cover for it. But here's the thing. here's the thing, as long as that little fish is inside of that container, that Oscar really shouldn't be able to get a hold of him. But if that fish somehow decides to jump out of that little container, he's pretty much on his own, if you know what I mean. Do you guys want to see what happens if that fish gets kind of... I do too. So let's just quietly watch and see. Oh, who's talking? Just quietly watch and see what happens when this little happy, unsuspecting, harmless little goldfish gets released to the big, dark, mean Oscar.
No! Yes! Go, you're free, bud. No, he's not. It's just me. Oh no! You're sniffing him.
Okay, now one reason I know that I can, relate to some of you guys, because oddly enough, I saw some of the same sick joy in your faces that I get when I see the same thing going on. I don't know what it is, but some of you guys actually got happy when you saw death befall this unsuspecting, happy, maybe he has a family. I don't know what this history is of this goldfish. He could be a brother of 10 or 20 other brothers and sisters. I don't know. Anyways, tell you what.
Put them all in there. Put them all in there.
Here's the thing. I'm going to do one more thing here. I'm going to try. I've never tried this ever in my life. The goldfish thing, I used to do it as a kid when we had Oscars. But this next thing, I did only in a different way. Now, some of you guys know I used to have geckos at home, and I would raise them. They'd have little eggs and this and that, and I'd feed them all the time. Well, I did different things, but most of the time I fed them crickets, because that's normally what you feed reptiles that are, small and that kind of thing. So I brought some crickets in here. I was going to just see what happens if I throw a little cricket in there with Mr. Oscar. I don't know. He may like it, he may not.
You call him little?
Let's just see how he reacts to this offering.
He's doing it.
I saw too.
All right. Here we go. We're going to just put some cricket action in here and
Both of them in.
see what happens. Let's just see what happens here.
Kill him. Whoa. Oh, yes.
Okay, so there was now a cricket inside the tank on the surface of the water. And let's just kind of be still and just come and just kind of watch and see if Mr. Oscar gets interested in Mr. Cricket. Let's see if he gets interested in it. You see,
It's alive.
he's a pretty hungry guy. He likes to eat. We've fed him bloodworms and cichlid food and stuff like bar. But I haven't tried that. I don't know if you bite my finger or not. I'm not sure if he notices Mr. Cricket or not. Yeah. I think he's more omnivorous because he'll eat plant matter as well, I think. Once we feed him some kind of stuff like that.
Oh,